Hey boys, how you doing? Another review. This time it's a Byredo, and the name of the fragrance is Accord Oud, released in 2010. I could not find the name of the perfumer. Normally Byredo uses Jérôme Epinette, but I wouldn't want to hazard a guess. I just couldn't find it, so sorry about that. So let's start. I'm using a sample, so I'll give you a close-up of the sample. So boys, here is a closer look. I normally use base notes, Notino to get my 2 ml samples. Here is one, Byredo, Accorded, EDP. So what I'll do guys, I've got about a 5.5 hour dry down, and I also have a 5.5 hour dry down under my shirt. So I'll go for a fresh spray, yeah? Um, Normally these sprays are very good. It gives you about half a spray, so I'll go with 2 to get 1 spray, yeah? Smells really good. So the first thing you will notice is that oud is not the main player, yeah? It's called Accord Oud, intelligent, because it uses the chords of oud rather than a genuine or full-blown oud composition. It's an accord oud, yeah? Accord of oud. So what do you get? The smell will throw you off balance because it smells like, imagine a muslin or a jute bag which is damp and which is used to store flowers, yeah? So it's slightly floral, damp, and sort of a rag type smell, or maybe foresty smell or an earthy smell. That's what you're getting. The top of the fragrance has got 3 notes, but you can't pick them up. You can only pick 1 note up, and that is a damp saffron floral note. That's what the floral aspect is. It uses a fruity note, which is blackberry, and also has this boozy aspect to it, which is rum, and that's this rotten smell. I think it's more like a molasses type rum, yeah? So you get that rotten, earthy, foresty, floral smell. So is it attractive to start with? No. But the fragrance dries down in about half an hour, and half an hour is when you will start to enjoy the fragrance, yeah? So the opening is rather funky, I would say. In about half an hour's time, it starts to hit the heart. The heart of the fragrance smells, again, it may not be to everybody's liking, but it smells medicinal, and it smells like an analgesic. You know, in my younger days I used to be an athlete, and I used to pull my sort of calf muscles, my hamstrings pretty regularly, and I used to apply these muscle analgesics before I went to bed. So obviously when you're sleeping and you get this wafts of this warm, rich, sometimes spicy, balmy scent. So that's what the scent turns into. So this has got a very prominent clarisage, very prominent, yeah, with leather. But the leather is not the animalic leather, it's more like a suede, yeah, that's the heart. So clarisage and a leather note. But the scent turns medicinal and spicy herbal with balmy characteristics. That's the middle. And then in about 45 minutes to 1 hour, you'll see that the smell turns slightly powdery, yeah? And the powdery aspect is coming from the earthy patchouli note. That's the base of the fragrance, earthy patchouli with musk. I don't get the musk, I get the powdery aspect of musk with patchouli. So that's the composition of the fragrance. Starts off smelling really funky, and as you would have guessed, there is no oud, but there's an accord of oud. There's also an accord of iris, which makes this powdery, along with powdery musk. All in all, nice composition. Starts off smelling funky, then turns medicinal, spicy, then turns powdery, woody, leathery, and the leather is suede. Yeah, good composition, guys. You will like it. But when it hits the dry down, that is when the problem of this fragrance starts. In spite of smelling so good, it starts to remind you of this. Amouage Jubilation 25. Jubilation 25 is an absolute legend. I don't know whether you can see See the name, it's on the rim. My God, this is a fragrance which sits in absolute Hall of Fame. Now suddenly, if you try and emulate a fragrance, this was released in 2010, yeah, by Byredo. Jubilation 25 was released in 2007 to coincide with 25 years of Amouage. How would they not spot the similarities? The similarities are uncanny, yeah. I have a 4-hour dry down here of Jubilation 25. The similarities are about 60 to 65%. I was going to say 55 to 65. Roughly, you get the idea, yeah? Half of it resembles Amouage Jubilation 25, and it fails. You can't compete with Jubilation 25 unless and until you offer something, right? So the oud accord used in Byredo's accord oud smells very similar to the oud accord used in Jubilation 25, but Jubilation 25, the heart of Jubilation 25, is astronomically beautifully done. You can't compete with that. You really can't. Here is the problem with the fragrance. So pros and cons. Yeah, the composition, nothing amazing, but the total sum is greater than its part. That's the biggest pro, if you like. The pro of the fragrance accord oud is it manages to create something which is greater than its individual components, and I like the work. The second thing is the actual performance, the projection, the sillage, the longevity are all from moderate to strong. Yeah, you'd get at least 9 to 12 hours, 5.5 hours still going strong, no issues. Under my shirt, yeah. Let me unbutton my t-shirt and tell you what I'm smelling. Yeah, the smell is really nice, guys. I can't fault the smell. The only problem with this fragrance is that it ends up smelling like Jubilation 25. Now, if you smell Jubilation 25, that's the end of conversation. A match has been lost. You can't compete with Jubilation 25, especially with the ingredients and the scent profile that has been created here. So those are the two pros, you know. It's greater than some of its parts, and it's a nice composition, you know. It's great performance. Everything is going for this fragrance, yeah. Now the cons. Con is it smells uncannily similar to 25, at least the heart, and it can't compete with it. Jubilation 25 keeps becoming beautiful, right? Can't compete. Number 2 is the price point. This thing is available, Byredo Accord Oud is available on my usual discounters somewhere between 160 and 140 for 100 ml. Jubilation 25 is available for 135, right, on my usual discounter. You can't compete on price, you know. Amouage, you know, is available for 135 and Byredo is 160. Can't compete. The price is just impossible. So those are the two cons, yeah. So, occasion-wise, this is a cold weather fragrance. You don't even have to think about it. It's a cold weather fragrance. The dry down is beautiful, leathery, slight spices, everything is in balance, nothing is going out of, in different directions. Good composition. It's a good Byredo quality fragrance. I would say it is office safe as well because it's not too funky after the initial 30 minutes. Yeah, the initial 30 minutes is a bit funky because of the saffron. The saffron is a bit funky in nature, and that's what creates that funkiness. The dry down is sort of tarty. The tartiness is coming from blackberry, so it's a sour, woody fragrance. So it's a great dry down, you know, very office safe. It's got tremendous projection and performance. So in cold weather, you can wear this as a night out clubbing fragrance, not an issue, no problems at all. And you will probably get compliments as well because overall signature of the scent is this fruity, woody, slight spicy, leathery scent, which is great for compliments. You'll get those compliments, no problems at all. And I would say that weather-wise, as I said, cooler weather, you know, it has to be less than 15 degrees for you to enjoy this fragrance. But, as I said, the problem is it's ended up smelling something like Jubilation 25, and when it comes to that, it just can't compete. Neither on the price, nor on the quality, nor on the scent. So if you haven't smelled Jubilation 25, you could probably buy Accord Oud. But But if you already smelt it, it's a pass. So in terms of ranking the fragrance, how many marks can I give it? I can probably give it for the composition, for the performance, projection, everything taken into consideration. I'd probably give it 6.5. Yeah, the prices are too high to justify what you're getting. 6.5 out of 10. Hope you like the review. See you again. Bye bye.